This is... Son of a bitch.
Perfect. That's staying in.
There is. That's your disclaimer, everybody.
Sorry, my cat tried to escape today, so I had to chase her down the hallway, and I got a bunch of her hair in my mouth, and I haven't been the same since. Let's try this again, shall we? This is intended for mature audiences. There are sexual themes, lots of violence, prolific amounts of profanity, and lots of other inappropriate stuff. Please don't let your kids listen to this.
And that's just from Itchy.
That's very true.
Ooh-wee, we had one hell of a moment back there. Evander, how did it go? Uh-huh. Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, well, first of all, after finding Cecil's body, we decided to take matters into our own hands. Slick and I went up to look at Cecil's room at the Pink Pony Saloon to find any hankering of a clue as to who did this. We found an IOU from my rat bastard of a brother Ezekiel, where Arthur and Evander got some quality bonding time in over a nice breakfast, al fresco style. Well, we regrouped and headed over to the sheriff's office to see how we could help. Arthur and Slick scared that deputy into pissing his pants while I made sure not one single varmint was going to sneak up on us. No sirree. Well, now we're on the way to visit the local holy man in his rectory. Evander, stop laughing. That is crude.
Can you imagine?
Can you imagine?
Can you imagine?
Can you imagine?
A universe in peril.
The clang of sword hitting sword.
The beating of iron hearts in chests.
The smell of horse sweat and the clink of bullets being loaded into a six-shooter.
The scent of fresh, unsullied wilderness.
The galaxy's most unlikely group of heroes.
The rolling thunder of war machines.
The electric energy of an adventure yet to unfold.
An enemy like none other.
The rattle of spurs.
The smell of raw magic searing the air.
The rumblings of an unholy union.
The true power of teamwork.
The bitter sting of a dust storm on your skin.
The clattering of spent lead.
The haunting low of 1,000 longhorns on the Texas prairie.
The
Multiverse Collective.
So, without any further ado, we pick our story back up in Holy Cedar, Texas, the worst place in America, arguably. As our group of intrepid heroes are about to walk into the rectory to see if they can't find the sheriff to deal with this dead body that popped up in the center of the town. How is everybody feeling?
If I remember correctly, Arthur is mildly pissed off because the man who died, whose name disappears from memory,
Cecil
died after he took the poster for Byron Black, and he's also probably feeling a bit shameful that he made a young man piss himself.
I think that's fair. That was a very shameful moment for all of us, I think. How about you, Slick? I need 30 more seconds of peace before I have to hear this itchy voice again.
Slick's he's getting better. He definitely wasn't feeling good, and definitely waking up with a hangover and immediately having to deal with a murder outside the building you're staying in isn't exactly the most comfortable way to wake up.
Yeah,
but
unpleasant.
He's getting there. He's getting better.
Good alley, boot, and rally, and here we are. And you, Itchy?
Well, thanks for asking. Now, Itchy, he's perimeterizing the area, making sure that everything is ship-shape and looking good.
I'm sure he's doing
We're
an
back,
incredibly adequate job of that. Actually, you know what? Why don't you start us off by rolling something for me? Since you're perimeterizing, how do we feel about An analyze check.
An analyze check. Let's see. This is just going to
See
be...
if Itchy sees anything suspicious while he's perimeterizing.
Remind me
For
what
you guys.
successes are.
So successes are 5s or 6s on the dice. So you'll roll your basic die, your core die, and then you'll roll your smarts die, and then any extra proficiencies you have in the analyze skill.
All right. Well, I got 3 successes if I did it right.
Oh, hell yeah. Okay, cool. So before you enter the rectory, you happen to notice something kind of sitting over to the side. It is a cowboy hat, and it looks way too nice to be sitting out here on the street abandoned.
I think I'm gonna point this out to the rest of the gang as Evander is just kind of prancing along down the street. There really is not much of an area to perimeterize here, but Itchy's gonna be like, "Now look at here, fellas. Don't that look a little bit too convenient?"
A hat in the street? Seems fine to me.
No, but I mean, take a look at it a little bit closer, right? You see, I mean, it's a pretty dusty old road here, and that hat ain't looked like it's seen the backside of a mule since 1762. I mean that to say it's very clean. Now look, that ain't one of mine, that's Evander's.
Well, I mean, somebody could have just, dropped it at some point. It doesn't necessarily mean anything.
What if it's looking to be a trap of some sorts?
Can I roll an analyze check to see if there's anybody watching said hat, just to make sure he's not being paranoid with the demons in his blood?
Yes, absolutely. Roll me an analyze check. Let's see what you see.
I got 2 fails.
2 fails. So no successes?
No successes.
You feel eyes on you. You don't know from where. You don't know who, and you don't know for what ends, but you feel as though you are being watched.
Let's see if I can get back into the voice of Arthur without coughing me guts up. You're gonna have to tell me if the voice is right, because I have had the flu this week, so yeah, my throat's not what it used to be.
That's what she said. Sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Carry on.
So that's way too somber for Arthur. I feel it already. Fuck it, we're going for it. Son, there's nothing wrong with that hat.
Perfect.
All right, well, since Itchy has a hat of his own, he's just gonna, well, you know what? No, I'm gonna poke the bear here. I'm gonna poke the bear. You wouldn't have put it there if you didn't want me to do this. Itchy is going to, again, take a good 15-20 seconds to clamber down from Evander, and he's gonna be like, "All right, Evander, you'll go with the rest of the gang. I'm gonna split up for just a second." And he's gonna hand on his pistol. Slowly, he's gonna do the, like, scurry, sniff, flinch his way over there. So he's just gonna, like, stop, look around, and then just keep doing that till he gets to the hat. And he's gonna take a look under said hat.
That's great. I just want you to know that I personally am imagining Danny DeVito in a sparkly cowboy outfit doing this.
Oh yes, a sparkly cowboy outfit that is much too big for him.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So, like, your pant legs are dragging in the dust. Doesn't matter. Visual doesn't matter. You pick the hat up, absolutely nothing happens. You do, though, happen to notice when you grab the hat that there is a torn playing card tucked into the inner brim of the hat.
Oh, wait a second. I know about this.
He's gonna take a look at it. Is it an ace of spades?
It is an ace of spades.
Oh, he is going to snatch that hat up, wordlessly, like, sprint back over and hand it right to Slick. Now look at here, partner. You're going to want to take a look at this. And he's going to point out the playing card.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have anything to do with a playing card, but I know Arthur was looking for a playing card.
Oh, Arthur, that's the one who I was thinking of. And he's going to scurry over to Arthur and be like, again, he's like at least a head and a half shorter than Arthur. So he's just going to like look straight up and he's gonna be like, hey, Art, can I call you that? Art, take a look at this. And he's going to hand the hat over to him.
Arthur's going to take the hat and he's going to be like, you can call me Arthur. I'm going to have to give him a minute.
No, it's perfect because he's in disguise. He can't keep himself straight. It's perfect.
It's just Itchy. Itchy just gets in his head.
Itchy makes you nervous?
Itchy makes me itchy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got that kind of a reputation. That's why they call me Itchy.
What?
Don't worry about nothing.
He's going to look at the hat and he's going to see the ace of spades and the rage he's already feeling from everything that's happened. He's going to turn around and face the door to the rectory. And I want to kick the door in. I don't want to open the door nicely. I want to go in full guns blazing.
Okay. I don't think it's a problem for you to kick the door open. I think Arthur is strong enough.
He's like this, remember?
Without... Yeah. Yes, he is a Jason Statham looking ass motherfucker.
A beast of a man.
Yeah. Yeah, you kick the door in. What do you do upon kicking the door in? What's the first thing that you do?
I'm going to look straight at the sheriff and give him the old evil eye.
The sheriff is not actually
That's twice that's happened. God damn it.
You kicked the door open, and all that you see in the rectory is the shirtless, screaming pastor. You have scared the living shit out of someone second time in 15 minutes with your Han Solo bullshit.
I'm just gonna nod, and I'm gonna turn around and then take the 5 steps back to the sheriff's station, like sheriff's department, and look at the boy and go, "Where is he, son?"
He went there earlier. I swear to God, he went there earlier. He doesn't tell me everything he does.
Slick's gonna like poke his head around the door that was kicked open, be like, "Hey, sorry about that guy. Mind if we come in?"
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I guess. And he's like trying to like frantically find a shirt so that he can cover himself because he doesn't want.
Yeah, I'll give you a minute. We're gonna talk for a minute. We'll be in there in a second.
Sure thing. Thanks. Thank you.
And he'll turn back and look at Itchy and be like, "He needs a minute."
Itchy's gonna pull out a pocket watch. Start timing.
Yeah, that tracks.
Arthur's gonna go to the young man that we still don't know the name of, and say, "Son, when I've calmed down, I want you to come find me. I have a job proposition for you."
He just looks at you with fear in his eyes, and he nods slowly and silently, as if he's afraid that he'll say something embarrassing if he opens his mouth.
You can say it, son.
Yeah, yes, sir. And his pants are still wet because it's been about 4 minutes, maybe a little bit less, and he's not had time to go home and change.
Arthur is just gonna grab the brim of his hat, nod, and then walk back the 4 steps to the rectory. And he doesn't know about it, giving time for the pastor to put a shirt on.
I think Slick is like looking over Itchy's shoulder at the pocket watch.
Exactly. And Itchy just immediately starts walking in.
When you walk in, you see that the pastor has gathered himself a little bit more. The space is like kind of dusty. It's not in the best shape, but clearly there's a lot going on in town. That means tidying is not anybody's priority. But pastor is now wearing a shirt, and it's not all the way buttoned, but who cares, right? And he's still a little shaken up from the barnstorming that happened to him mere moments ago. And I think he's mostly focused on regaining his dignity.
Oh, he's lost that already.
Yeah.
I think
Most of my NPCs, I've realized, will have 0 dignity. But that's fine.
well, when you have Itchy around. Meanwhile, Itchy's gonna look at Slick and Arthur and he's gonna be like, all right, fellers, I think I know how this goes. Y'all take care of the talking part. Evander, get me my tool. And Evander pops his head in with like a rock. And he turns back and he's like, all right, don't mind me, sir. I'm just gonna go ahead and fix the door. And Evander is just gonna start like trying to hammer it back into its hinges.
Evander or Itchy?
Yes.
The pastor extends his hand out as if he's gonna like say something, and then realizes that there's absolutely no point.
There was no stopping Itchy.
Slick's gonna step forward and be like, I know things look weird. I'm well aware. We just have a few questions, and quite honestly, we're hoping to find the sheriff here.
The pastor nods. Sure thing. He was here a minute ago, and then there was a bit of a kerfuffle up at the Coolidge place. And I think he rode off to deal with some rabble-rousers up there. But what can I do for you gentlemen, since you so kindly welcomed yourselves into my home at 6:30 in the goddamn morning? Forgive me, Lord.
Arthur's just gonna pull up a chair for him and like gesture for him to sit down.
Back there somewhere.
He sits down without hesitation.
I'm not gonna have to strong arm this one for information, Emma. I don't want to make a pastor piss himself because I feel like that's really disrespectful.
You've already broken in his door. There's no way that it's going to be any better after Itchy does what he's doing to it. So
You just hear the door slam.
Slick jumps like,
falls
Jesus.
flat on the
enough.
ground.
Arthur is just gonna turn around. He's gonna say, 1 minute. And he's going to turn around and pick up the door and just put it back on properly.
Thanks there, partner. Evander's many things, but he ain't a very good carpenter either.
the pastor is just sitting there, head in his hands. This may be the worst day of his entire life. You 3 seem to have that effect on people in this town. Weird.
I think it's even funny the fact that Arthur still has this hat in his hand and he's not let go of it. He's just doing everything one-handed.
Yes. Yeah, he's wearing a hat and holding a different hat. It's magnificent.
Did this hat belong to Cecil over there? Would I recognize the hat, actually?
No, you wouldn't recognize the hat.
Okay, so
All right, Evander, a little bit.
I don't know what, like, this doesn't look like Cecil's hat, so I'm not entirely sure where it came from, but it has the markings of a guy that Arthur here is looking for.
Arthur's just going to take out the ace of spades because the pastor was there at the crime scene, I remember.
Yeah, he was the first guy to find Cecil's body.
And he's going to pull the torn ace of spades out the hat, throw the hat at the pastor.
All right, now just a little bit to the right.
And then he's gonna. We're gonna try and get back to this voice. I'm hoping by the end of this first recording, I can get back to the actual Arthur voice.
Jason
Whether we
Statham,
do or not.
Jason Statham.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, you were just going straight Jason Statham. That is exactly who he is.
He's gonna go. Do you recognize this?
No, I can't say that I do. Sorry, son.
He's then going to show the Ace of Spades and go, what about this?
While he's doing that, Slick's gonna grab the hat. And he's gonna look on the inside to see if somebody wrote their name on the tag.
At least one of us uses the brains.
I'm really trying.
Master's like, no, sorry, this is not a hat I've seen before, just a playing card.
All right, perfect. All right,
Sorry, I'm not more helpful. And Slick, you will notice that the letters BB are on the inner tag of the hat.
BB.
BB.
All right, don't you worry, preacher. Door looks to be fixed.
I was gonna do that when we left.
Yep.
He sighs heavily and holds his head in his hands.
All right, don't worry. Third time's a charm. All right, Evander. Come on. One more time.
You wouldn't by chance know a BB initials around here, do you?
No, ain't no one in town with those initials.
I throw the hat. Like, well, this ain't no good then.
All right, I'm going to catch the hat.
Perfect.
I feel like after the 3 months I've spent following Byron, I would recognize his handwriting if he's signed anything or, been in like brothels and crap like that, and he's had to sign paperwork. Can I check to see if the writing is the same writing? The handwriting.
Absolutely. You only need one success on an analyze roll. I think you've dealt with Byron Black enough to be able to recognize his handwriting with ease.
Yeah, I got one success.
Yeah, you recognize the way that the letter B is drawn. This is definitely something that he's put into his hand.
Hey, Vander, stop fooling around.
It looks pretty similar to how he signs most things. You're not like 100% confident, but you're pretty confident.
I'm gonna look at the pasta, and I'm gonna try and remember where he said the sheriff said there was trouble, and you're gonna see like a very perplexed look on Arthur's face because he's filled with anger, but he's trying to use all the brain power he can muster to remember what he said 45 seconds ago.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when he gives up, finally goes, he's gonna say, "Where did you say the sheriff went?"
Back in Galveston.
Up to Judge Coolidge's place, about 10 miles north of here.
Evander,
He's
you
well
gotta
on his
tell
way,
me
but
when you left the pliers back at the ranch.
I'm gonna look at Slick and say, "You ready for a ride?"
I suppose. Shouldn't be that bad.
Arthur's gonna put $1 on the table, pay his respects to the pastor, do a little, all that shite, and then he's gonna walk out and whistle for Bessie, and jump up and then attach the new cowboy hat to like the saddlebag, and then wait for the other two to see what they're doing, because apparently we're all in this together now.
Slick's gonna, thank you for your time. I guess we'll go deal with this. And he'll leave. He'll look around, find the first horse he sees, hop onto it.
Itchy's gonna, just do the hat brim flick at the preacher, and he's gonna say, "All right, now nobody touch that door, and that is good as new." And Itchy's gonna walk right out, absentmindedly close the door. Just gonna. And he's not even gonna turn around to notice it. He's just gonna hop on Evander and, "All right, we're going riding."
You don't see this, but the pastor sheds a single tear.
Slick's gonna look over at Itchy and Evander and go, can you actually ride that horse if we go somewhere?
Well, you know what they say about me and Evander. Evander practically rides himself.
Oh boy.
No, well, true, but can you ride him is the question.
Well, I can sure make him dance, and he can do that pretty quick. So if you count that as riding, then sure.
You know what? We'll deal with it as it comes. Let's go.
Yeah. As that's going on, Arthur's gonna do his now famous exasperated sigh after he lights up a new cigarette. This is his third one in 20 minutes, but Itchy just brings it out of him. But I'm assuming that we're gonna have to follow Itchy anyway if he knows everybody in Holy Cedar. So Arthur's gonna look at Itchy and go, "Son, do you know where the judge's house is?"
Do I know where the judge's house is? Does a bear shit in the woods? Of course I do. Come on. And Evander is going to stand on two legs, and he's going to start walking. His front two legs are doing the Macarena.
Of course they are.
Arthur's gonna look at Slick and be like, "This is gonna be a slow ride."
Can we just leave him behind?
So as you guys set out, you're heading like pretty much into like scrubland, more or less. There are like a few stands of pine trees, but for the most part, it's pretty fucking barren. And you're traveling on like a pretty worn dirt path. It's not crazy, but you do notice some fresh, like very visibly fresh hoof prints heading up north.
Well, I mean, these seem to be. Should we just follow these and head north?
Sounds good to me.
Or, I mean, I can't think of any other reason why we wouldn't, right?
Can we do an analyze check to see if they seem dangerous?
Yeah, you absolutely can.
Danger footprints.
I would love it if you did that. You will need, you'll find out more information based on the amount of successes that you get.
I got 2 successes.
2 successes. So what you can tell with 2 successes is that this is more than one horse that has ridden this path, and you can tell that it was ridden very recently, and that there are more hoof prints, but they are older. How much older you can't really tell, but you know they're more than a few hours old.
Okay. I'm going to look at the other 2. He's just going to nod. He's just going to be like... It's been a long morning.
It's your adventure, man. We're just here for it. Just want to see this thing through, I guess.
And then he's just going to ride on.
I think Slick is still in his mind convinced that it was Red Harrington.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assumption.
He's really just more in this for the curiosity at this point.
Slick. Itchy is just kind of like muttering to himself, and he's like, "Right on. Well, I'm more of a Rhyperior guy myself, but you know."
Oh my god.
Oh, well, I'm drinking,
Sorry,
man.
I'm just taking one moment. Wow.
It's canon. Itchy said it.
So as you guys are traveling this path, you're probably like 2-ish miles into it. Does anybody want to roll me a tracking check?
Does anybody have any points into it? Because I know I don't.
I do not.
Nope.
Cool.
Wow, this should be fun. Raw dog in the roll.
2 successes. Nice.
2 successes. Sweet. You are able to help everybody maintain the path. But you do notice that there are fewer hoof prints than there were earlier.
I think right around here, one of the horses started carrying the other horses. Because there's less footprints.
Yeah, you know what? I've seen Evander do that 1 or 2 times. That tracks. Astute observation there, Slick. Y'all, we're gonna get nothing done. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what happened with 2 successes. You know that to be a fact, certifiable.
The horse prints are a little more defined because they're deeper in the floor. Oh fuck!
Oh my god. So you guys, I'm assuming you want to keep going up the path.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
might as well just keep heading north, following whatever it is. I see no reason to
Yeah.
veer from this path at this point.
Yeah, sweet. Everybody, roll me a survival check.
1 success.
2 success.
1 success. 2
Also one success.
Also 1 success. Okay. None of you really see this coming, or at least hear this coming. But from out of the woods, you hear a low growl. And you do notice that all 3 of your horses get incredibly nervous incredibly quickly.
Slick immediately looks at Evander to see what he does when he's nervous.
Yeah, I'm interested to know.
Evander has stopped dead in his tracks and is currently just pissing in the road. He didn't notice shit.
Hails bells, this ain't good.
Arthur's gonna unholster his pistol and look towards the growl.
Immediately as you do that, 2 Texas red wolves come flying out of the woods, teeth bared, heading straight for you.
I'm gonna take as many shots as you'll let me take.
You could technically fan your gun. I believe you have multiple shots in your gun.
Yeah, I have 6 bullets. I'm gonna aim at whichever wolf is closer first.
Okay, cool.
I'm not gonna move because I feel like there's nowhere for me to actually get into cover in the middle of butterfuck nowhere.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I'm just gonna aim right between its eyes and take shots.
Alright, and Itchy and Slick, you guys obviously have a tiny bit more of a delayed response to this, but what do you guys want to do?
Itchy,
as this is happening?
fucking goddammit, I did the same thing. Slick's going to pull out his Lamont and he's gonna cock it back and switch it into the buckshot
Okay.
for his first shot.
Meanwhile, Itchy is going to kind of catapult off Evander's back, pulling out a cavalry saber, and he's gonna try and get right up in the mix.
Okay, so you're moving towards the wolves on horseback. That's your intent?
No, I'm jumping off the horse, using my movement speed to get up in there, and I'm having Evander run away because he is my son and nothing bad can ever happen to him.
Okay, perfect. Anybody who is then trying to fire a gun, I will have you roll your dice to see if you hit. And then Itchy, I'll have you roll. Let's see, I think
There is a melee
have
weapon.
you roll melee weapons. Yeah.
I'm rolling 5 dice for pistols.
Hell yeah.
I got 4 successes.
I got 2.
Sick. 2?
I also got 2.
Okay. So immediately, what happens? Oh, and what were those successes? 5s or 6s?
I had 1 of each.
I had
1 of each.
I had 1 6 and 3 5s.
Okay.
I had 1 5 1 6.
1 5 1 6. Okay, awesome. So with that, Arthur gets the first shot off, and immediately just hits this wolf right between the eyes. Drops to the ground, doesn't even get a chance to yelp. Slick, you get your shot off next. You do hit the wolf right in its shoulder.
It was a
doesn't
shotgun blast.
necessarily- Yes. So it's like well spread out.
Mhm.
The wolf stops in its tracks, but is not dead yet. And Itchy, just describe to me what you do Shotgun. This poor buckshot-ridden wolf.
Y'all ever heard of a little thing called shawarma? And he's just gonna like skewer both of these wolves.
No.
Sorry, I just...
I feel like I have to apologize for everything I say as Itchy.
No, it's
Never
it's
apologize. Never apologize.
perfect. These two wolves are down, dead, and skewered on Itchy's cavalry saber. And then the other 4 wolves that were hiding in the woods all failed their morale checks to come assist their friends. They saw what happened.
I just realized I
they
should have
were
rolled
gonna-
5 dice instead of 4.
Oh,
Oh well.
well, either way, you killed the shit out of the fucking wolf.
Arthur's gonna do that really, like, he's gonna blow the smoke off the end of his Smith & Wesson and then twiddle it on his finger and put it back in his holster and just continue riding like nothing happened.
Roll me a finesse check. Let's see if you get it in there with dignity.
I got 2 successes.
Beautiful, brilliant. You twirl it like a fucking pro. It just slides right back in there. You've done this a million times. This is the coolest you've ever looked.
Slick's gonna start the unfortunately long process of reloading the fucking buckshot of this pistol.
Yep.
Itchy is going to look around and be like, Evander, it's all right. I think they're gone. And Evander was hiding behind like this super thin pine tree, but like a cartoon, completely invisible. So Evander just like turns sideways and walks out.
Absolutely delightful. What have you done with the wolf corpses that you had skewered?
You reckon we could get a fair price of these at the market?
I mean, we could. Do you want to skin them?
Hell, why not? I already got them half done.
Slick crosses his arms and wants to see this.
Yeah, I don't know what you should roll to skin these 2 wolves.
Survival, maybe?
Would it be animals? Or is that like
yeah, you can do animals or survival. But
All right,
I'm
gonna do
fine with animals also being hunting.
I'm going to do animals, and that is
Okay.
0 successes on 3 days.
Great. You have turned these pelts into absolute fucking mincemeat. They look like shit. There's blood everywhere. You've left like the fat cap layer underneath one of the skins. You know this is gonna rot. You know it's gonna rot fast.
Slick claps.
Itchy takes a very like over the top bow, and he's just like, all right, well, maybe next time. Maybe next time I'll learn.
Flies have begun to
Maybe
swarm.
next time, don't try and skin him with a cavalry saber. Use a knife.
Hey, Evander, we got one of those? Evander just looks at Slick, unblinking, for like a good 6 seconds.
So you have now left 2 absolutely fucking butchered, like teenage Jeffrey Dahmer butchered wolf corpses in your wake.
Hell yeah.
I mean, to
You
be fair, I
have-
would have offered to do it, but I also don't have a knife. The best I got is a straight razor. And I feel like that
I feel
would
like
have
you
served
would've
much
got-
better.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have gone a lot better.
It would have just taken fucking forever.
I don't have a knife, I just have a tomahawk, so I feel like that would have gone even worse.
Anyways, so about these footprints.
Yeah. They continue carrying on north. You notice the road's getting a little bit less traveled at this point, as if people have been breaking off to go to their individual properties, and that there's not much left up north.
Well, that may be the truth. Slick is just imagining a stack of horses as they get tired.
Yeah. I think that tracks for the intelligence level of the party. I feel like
I don't understand how these footprints are getting deeper and deeper. I mean, take a look at this one. It's like 2 feet in.
Somebody who just want to roll me just like a straight up smarts check.
0 successes.
You also believe this to be true. You're imagining a stack of horses.
Must have been a lot of horses.
If we keep going, we'll be able to see him over the horizon eventually. They got to be stacked pretty high at this point.
Hey, you know what they say? It's horses all the way down.
It's all the way up at this point. Turtles all the way down, horses all the way up.
Evander whips his head around and again looks at you unblinking as he's walking forward. He's just side-eyeing you.
Why does he
do anything but side-eye?
Problem with Slick?
Evander, it's okay. He don't mean it. He don't know what he's talking about.
Dear God. Is there anything else you guys would like to talk about on your way up north? Since you killed my wolves so fast.
I feel like Arthur's just going to talk about the engineering of a 17-horse pile and how the people actually ride the horses at the top and stay without falling off. Hey, you're the one who said I believe it, so go.
Yeah.
Now look, back at the ranch. Back at the ranch, we can only get 3 on top of them, because, look, Evander may be strong as he is, he can only hold 2 horses on top of him. Any further than that, and he gets stuck in the mud.
And, credit where credit's due, he's a pretty big horse, so, I imagine you have to have, maybe there's smaller horses like foals as they go up.
We were working on horse number 4, and then, Ezekiel happened. So we gotta put that on the old back burner here for a second before I can skin him alive like the yellow-bellied snake he is.
Yeah, maybe get some practice on skinning alive first.
No, you know what? I think what I did to the wolves, I think that's what I'm gonna try and do to him.
That works. That's fair.
Everything I've done to myself. You 3 have made this so fucking difficult for me to continue. Oh my God.
Hey, Riley.
Yeah.
What year did you say this was again?
Early 1870s. It has to be after 1873 because I've given almost every single NPC a cult peacemaker because I personally am obsessed. But that's not the point. 1873-ish.
Reason I ask is because after a second of silence, Itchy kind of turns around as Evander is walking forward. He just fully turns back around to look at the 2 guys, and he's just like, "So, y'all ever hear of that newfangled college football stuff they got up back east? Who y'all got? Rutgers or Princeton?"
You know where I'm from? They call
Tulane
it rugby.
not sucking this year has really gone to your head.
I'm more into the card sports than the physical sports,
I'm more of a sucker man myself.
Ew.
I never heard of that one. You see, Itchy is just like blank. He's just so perplexed. Soccer.
I'm
you
sure.
You said you're from New York, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not York.
No.
Slick
New York.
Itchy. Roll an analyze check. Let's see if anybody catches on to this.
Can I get negative successes?
Yeah, roll 1 extra, and any
No, it's fair. I got
failures
4s and 3s. I got nothing. I got 0 success.
Yeah.
Well, wouldn't you believe it? I rolled 4 successes and I got 3 1s and a 2.
Wow. Wow. Itchy, you know something's wrong. You know Arthur's lying to you. You don't know about what. You don't know why. You just know that there's something not quite right. And maybe it's just because everybody lies to you a little bit. Just because it's you.
Itchy's gonna narrow his eyes at Arthur, not say anything, but he's just gonna like slowly turn back around.
Yeah,
And Slick,
and
you've
I'd be right
completely
in
bought this
saying it.
bullshit.
I'd be right in saying it because the FA started in 1863, so it'd be 10 years old at this point. So it should be a known sport.
I don't trust anybody who makes a fake sport.
So as you continue on, you do notice on the horizon, maybe like an hour into your ride, that there is a
17 horses.
very large, 17 horses all stacked on top of each other vertically, and a large whitewashed brick mansion with like these huge columns up in front. It looks very nice and very out of place.
Can I see the front door from here? If it's a big mansion, I'm assuming it's like large wooden doors.
Yeah, you can see that they're like double doors. You can't really make out anything specific. You can just tell that it's up on this ridge, maybe a mile and a half out from where you're at currently.
How long has it taken us to do this 10-mile ride?
A couple hours. I think you guys are probably going pretty quickly.
Okay, so it's about midday.
Well,
so
we
lights
did have to
wouldn't be
stop
on.
and mutilate some wolves.
Yeah, you did stop to mutilate some wolf corpses. That's true.
As one does out in the wilderness.
It's probably 10 a.m. now, maybe 10:30.
Okay, so too early for lights to be on. You can just hear Arthur like mumbling to himself, trying to figure the scenario out. Element of surprise. He looks up at the sky. Is it clear weather? Is it cloudy? Is it?
It is overcast. It's not raining yet, but it might rain. You don't know.
All right, here's the plan.
You're no meteorologist.
Arthur, you kick the door in. Itchy, you go inside.
Why do I get to go inside? You never let me go inside anymore. In any of those other places we went to.
You go inside and, just let us know if it's safe or not.
All right, I like that. Going in first. I see that you're beginning to trust me.
Yeah, you're the big hero.
Arthur's gonna look at Slick and just put his thumbs up.
So you guys are still about a mile out from this place, but you can see it very clearly. And as you are getting closer, you hear 2 gunshots and a blood-curdling scream. The scream is a man.
Does the voice sound anything like the voice from the sheriff?
Roll to see if you recognize it. I don't. I'm making you roll so many analyze checks. I feel bad about it.
I mean, to be fair, it's what we're doing.
I mean, it's all the questions we've had. And
at least one of us probably should have put a point into analyze, but we didn't.
Yeah,
we knew what this was going into it.
Yeah, I mean, it feels.
We know we're
going to
be solving a mystery, and we didn't put any points into it.
I got 2
you guys
5s.
Missed 2 5s. Okay. You can tell that it's somebody with the sheriff's accent. You don't necessarily know if it's somebody else from Holy Cedar that you haven't met yet, or if it's the sheriff because you interacted with him for like 3.5 minutes. But it's the dude. He was hollering.
Arthur is gonna just start do the thing where they kick the side of the horse to make him start galloping. Hold on to his hat to make sure it stays on, and just start booking it towards the mansion.
Yeah, Itchy's gonna follow.
Slick's gonna wait and watch and be like, why? And then he'll go like a medium speed.
Yeah, just following up, trotting behind the pack.
The medium speed is almost the same as Evander's full speed. He's very slow.
Yes.
Yeah, he's doing the electric buggy. He's not actually galloping. He's just doing the electric buggy down the road.
Hey, this time it's serious. He's doing the salsa.
Oh, nice. I feel by the time that Itchy and Slick has got there, Arthur is already off Bessie. He's tied her up and he's getting ready to do some perusing, sneaking around and stuff.
As you guys ride up to the house, you notice just immediately that the sheriff is out on the front porch, clutching his hand, and it's covered in blood, and he is trying to hide the fact that he is crying. There's another man with him who you've never seen before, but he looks older, wealthy, dignified, and he's attempting to comfort the sheriff without taking away any more of his dignity that he's already losing from crying publicly.
Can Itchy attempt to stabilize the sheriff?
Yeah, you can totally just try to like raw dog your way up to this man who thinks that you're a psycho already and attempt to touch his wounded hand.
I'm gonna hold out like a roll of bandages and be like, "It's all right. The cavalry is here."
He sighs very, very heavily. Do you have any first aid experience, Itchy?
No.
And do you have bandages with you?
No. So
Well.
I think Itchy is going to, he's gonna rip off the sleeve of his jacket.
Okay. Wow. Yeah.
I just want to tourniquet it. His hand is wounded, right?
Yeah. As you get closer, if you want to take a closer look, roll a first aid check. With one success, you can identify what's going on, and with 2 successes, you have like a vague idea as to how to fix it, and 3 successes, you're able to actually help him.
That is 2 successes.
2 successes. So, first thing, you notice there is a hole shot clean through the center of his hand. You could pass a quarter through that thing. And you're able to provide him your sleeve as a tourniquet to help stem the bleeding.
Cool. That's really all I want to do. And I think Itchy is just gonna get as he's with surprising speed, he's gonna tourniquet up the sheriff's hand, and he's just gonna very quietly, so the sheriff can hear, he's gonna be like, "I will not let you get hurt by this."
The sheriff looks at you, seeing you, as if for the very first time.
Heart eyes.
And he whispers a quiet, "Thank you."
We're gonna make
And you
sure
can
you're
barely
all right.
hear it.
You don't even
He
have to say it
nods.
was me.
There's a lot of eye contact. This is very poignant. It's dusty, but he attempts to make himself a little bit more presentable, and he is wiping the tears with his offhand as you are holding, caressing his bullet-ridden hand. And with that, we're gonna cap episode 3 with Danny DeVito seducing the sheriff of Holy Cedar.
Before we go, I wanted to make sure to shout out a podcast we recently came across and have been absolutely loving thus far. It's called Laughs and Loot. If you're looking for a Pokemon adventure with an incredible sense of humor and banter, this one's for you. I've been binging it over the past few days and cannot stop laughing out loud. It's really a problem when I'm at work. So be sure to check them out using the link in the podcast bio or by searching them up wherever you consume your podcasts.